The Holy One, blessed be He. Welcome to Beit Yisrael International's Voice of Torah Podcast, where the eternal light of Torah shines through the nations. I'm Gaddi Efrayim, and it's my honor to guide you through today's journey into the teachings of Parashat Vayishlach, the 5 Sabbath fights, a mystical struggle with Angel and the inner self. Now, joining me as hosts on this podcast are the dynamic duo, Abraham and Sarah, who bring the light of faith and the inspiration of our forefathers and foremothers to every discussion. Together, we dive into the eternal teachings of the Torah. In Parashat Vayishlach, we encounter the profound story of Jacob wrestling with a mysterious figure, described as a man. The sages and Midrash teach us that this figure represents not only the challenges posed by the nations of the world, but also the internal spiritual battles faced by the people of Israel throughout history. Jacob's struggle serves as a timeless reminder that, despite hardships, Israel will prevail through unwavering faith in God. The Zohar delves even deeper, identifying the man as Samil, a spiritual adversary and the embodiment of the Yetzer, Hara, the evil inclination. This wrestling match symbolizes Jacob's battle with his inner fears and doubts, a process of spiritual refinement that resonates deeply with our own struggles. His victory over Samil teaches us that true strength lies in overcoming our internal challenges. This struggle culminates in the name Israel, which signifies one who wrestles with God and prevails. The sages reveal that every Jewish number in 600,000 is intricately tied to a specific letter in the Torah. This connection underscores the eternal bond between the people of Israel, the Torah, and the divine mission. Thank you for joining us on Voice of Torah. May the lessons of Jacob's struggle inspire us all to overcome challenges with faith, strength, and devotion to God's purpose. Stay blessed.
Okay, so ready to dive into something really fascinating.
Always.
Great, because today we are looking at, for how to deal with a really tricky situation.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are going to be looking at how the Jewish sages interpreted Jacob's approach to a super challenging situation.
Oh, interesting. Jacob.
Yeah, so the source we're looking at breaks it down into 3 parts.
Okay.
And it's these 3 parts that make up, you could call it, like, Jacob's strategy.
Interesting.
And those are gifts, prayer, and even, get this, war.
War.
Yeah, but it's not what you think.
All right, now I'm really intrigued. What is it that they're trying to get at here?
Well, it's fascinating, right? The sages, they didn't see these actions as, like, literal steps.
Right.
But, like, as these insights into human nature and strategy.
Okay.
So let's start with gifts, right?
Okay.
Because the source really emphasizes how, in this context, they represent way more than just, like, material offerings.
Right, so we're not talking about, like, a fruit basket or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, it's about understanding your, like, adversary.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, remember, Jacob sending gifts to Esau.
Right.
Who, he's kind of scared of because he thinks Esau wants revenge.
Yeah.
So the sages, they saw this as Jacob, like, acknowledging Esau's feelings and his potential grievances. So it's like this preemptive attempt to just, like, smooth things over.
Yeah.
Which is actually surprisingly strategic when you think about it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's like he's trying to kind of get ahead of it, right?
Exactly. It's almost like Jacob saying, look, I get it. You have every reason to be upset, so let's, like, start here.
Oh, wow. So he's really demonstrating a sense of humility and a willingness to compromise.
Exactly.
Huh. I like that.
And this concept of, gifts is understanding and empathy.
Right.
It's like, it can be so powerful even in our own lives.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, think about having to have, like, a tough negotiation at work.
Oh.
What if instead of, just, like, focusing on your own needs, you take the time to understand the other person's perspective? That could be like a gift that shifts the whole dynamic.
That's a great point.
Now, prayer is where it gets really intriguing, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Because at first glance, it just seems so out of place next to war in a strategic approach.
Right, because those two seem very opposed to each other.
Exactly.
So how does that work?
Well, the sages understood that prayer for Jacob wasn't just about asking for, divine intervention.
Right.
It was more about aligning himself with, like, a higher purpose.
Interesting.
And just finding that inner strength and clarity to face a potentially dangerous situation.
Yeah, he's getting himself, like, mentally ready.
Exactly, yeah. It reminds me of how, like, athletes, they'll visualize success before a big game.
Oh, yeah.
They're not just, like, hoping for good luck. They're, like, mentally preparing themselves for the challenge.
That's a great comparison. Because what you're saying is the sages highlighted that prayer. That provided Jacob with that resilience, a connection to something, bigger than himself. And, I mean, how often do we face situations where that kind of grounding is exactly what we need?
Right.
Think about, like, facing a tough decision or dealing with, like, a personal crisis.
Yeah.
Taking a moment to reflect, to connect with your values. That can be like that prayer.
Mm-hmm.
It centers you. It gives you that strength.
Exactly.
And then there's war.
Right, which seems, I don't know, jarring at first.
Yeah, like why is that part of the strategy?
Yeah, why would a wise strategy include preparing for battle?
Right.
Well, here's the twist.
Okay.
The sages, they didn't see it as literal war.
Okay.
They interpreted it as Jacob preparing for the worst-case scenario.
Okay.
Like he wasn't looking for a fight,
Right.
but he was ready if it came to that.
So he had to do what he had to do.
Right, and this speaks to just the importance of mental and emotional preparedness.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we're hoping for a peaceful resolution.
It's like that saying, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Being ready for challenges, even that they don't come, can make us more, confident.
For sure.
And less reactive.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. It's about having that strength and clarity to navigate whatever comes your way. I think if Jacob's story is any indication, it's this combination of thoughtful preparation, inner strength, and that willingness to understand others. That's like a recipe for success.
Yeah.
Even when you're facing the unknown. So I guess, that leaves us with a question for our listeners, right?
Yeah.
What are the gifts, the prayers, and the wars, the things you have to prepare for in your own life? Something to think about.
It really is. This whole threefold strategy that Jacob uses, it reminds us that facing challenges head-on with this mix of wisdom and courage can lead to really amazing things.
Absolutely.
It can lead to truly remarkable outcomes.
Well said.
Story of Jacob wrestling with the angel.
Yes, that epic all-night showdown.
That's the one. It's found in Genesis 32.
It's not just some random fight scene, though.
Right. The story is packed with layers of meaning.
Jewish sages and mystics have been trying to unpack its deeper significance for centuries.
And that's exactly what we're going to do today.
We'll be drawing on some heavy hitters in Jewish thought.
Like a Rashi.
Of course. Rambanize as well. Nachmanides.
Don't forget the Zohar. Got to have that mystical perspective.
Absolutely. And we'll even touch on some insights from Beit Yisrael International and the teachings of Gaddi Efrayim.
Sounds like we've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
One of the first questions that comes to mind is, who exactly is this mysterious figure Jacob's wrestling with?
Yeah, the text isn't exactly crystal clear on that one.
Which has led to some pretty wild theories over the years, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
So let's start with one of the most prominent interpretations.
Okay.
The one from Rashi, the medieval commentator.
Right. He believes the angel is the guardian angel of Esau.
Esau, that's Jacob's twin brother.
Yeah, the two with that serious sibling rivalry going on.
Oh, man, those two are always at odds.
Where Rashi suggests this wrestling match is like a spiritual foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing of what?
Of the struggles Jacob and later the nation of Israel would face throughout history.
Whoa, so it's not just about Jacob's personal struggles.
Nope. Rashi's connecting it to this bigger picture of historical challenges.
It's like a glimpse into the future almost.
It is a cosmic preview of the challenges to come.
So it's not just personal. It reflects the struggles of the Jewish people as a whole.
Exactly. It really highlights how individual experiences can be connected to larger historical forces.
Wow. I never thought about it like that before. It's like our own lives are woven into the tapestry of history.
That's a great way to put it.
So we've got Rashi's take, connecting the struggle to historical challenges. But I know there are other interpretations too.
Oh, yeah.
What else is out there?
Well, Ramban, another prominent commentator, offers a different perspective.
Okay, what does Ramban say?
He sees the angel as a divine messenger sent by God.
Sent to do what?
To test Jacob's strength.
Almost like a cosmic training montage.
It is. It's like preparing Jacob for his future role.
The role of a leader.
That's right. After all, he's about to become the father of 12 tribes.
Talk about a heavy responsibility.
No kidding. He needs to be in top spiritual shape for that.
I can see why God would put him through a test like this. It's like, okay, Jacob, you've got a big destiny ahead of you. Time to step up and prove you're ready.
Exactly.
But what's interesting is it's not a straightforward test.
Right.
It's a struggle, a real knockdown, drag-out fight.
And that's where the real lesson lies. Ramban's highlighting the idea that challenges, even the really tough ones, can actually be catalysts for growth.
That makes sense. They push us to tap into that inner strength, the strength we didn't even know we had.
Right. It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but on a spiritual level.
Totally. I mean, who hasn't faced challenges that felt like they were going to break them?
Yeah.
But looking back, those were often the times I learned the most about myself.
I agree.
So we've got Rashi connecting the wrestling match to historical struggles, and Ramban focusing on the transformative power of challenges.
Oh.
Now, I know there's another interpretation out there, one that delves into the mystical side of things.
Ah, yes, the Zohar.
That's right, our guide to Jewish mysticism.
So Zohar offers a really fascinating take on this.
Okay, lay it on me.
It identifies the angel as Samael,
Who's Samael?
a figure who represents the Yetzer Hara.
The what?
The Yetzer Hara. It's that inclination towards evil, the selfishness that we all grapple with.
Oh, so in this interpretation, the wrestling match isn't just about external enemies or challenges.
Yeah.
It's about that internal battle we all face, the one between good and evil within ourselves.
Exactly.
Wow. So it's like Jacob's struggle is a mirror to our own internal struggles.
I like that.
That pull we all feel between our better angels and those, not so great impulses that tempt us to take the easy way out.
Yeah. It's making me think of all those times I've wrestled with my own Yetzer Hara.
Maybe we should call it our inner wrestling opponent.
Uh-huh. I like that.
So, okay, we've got three pretty different interpretations of who this angel might be. Esau's guardian angel, a divine messenger testing Jacob's strength, or even a representation of our own inner struggles with the Yetzer Hara.
Right.
What's fascinating to me is how each interpretation adds another layer of meaning to the story.
It does.
But let's move on to the next big question. What's the purpose of this wrestling match? Why is it such a central part of Jacob's story?
Ooh, that's where things get really interesting. It's not just some random brawl,
Yeah, it feels like a real turning point in Jacob's life.
It is. And like those interpretations we just discussed, it kind of operates on multiple levels.
Okay, if I'm following. So let's unpack those layers. What are some of the ways this wrestling match really shapes Jacob's journey?
Well, one key aspect is this idea of transformation.
Transformation.
Yeah, and it's highlighted a lot by Beit Yisrael International, drawing on the teachings of Gaddi Efrayim.
Okay.
Remember, Jacob emerges from this encounter with a new name.
Israel?
Exactly. It's not just like a cosmetic change, though.
Right. It feels way deeper than that.
It signifies a real shift in his identity.
Like a recognition of his growth.
Yeah, and resilience, too.
It's like he's leveled up. He's gone through this intense trial by fire, and he comes out the other side a changed man.
I like that.
Literally bearing a new name, too. But I'm curious, though.
What's up?
We've talked about how this story connects to the struggles of the Jewish people.
Right.
So is there like a connection between Jacob's name change and the identity of Israel as a nation?
Yeah, definitely. The Zohar actually offers a really interesting perspective on this.
What does it say?
It sees the name Israel as like embodying the spiritual resilience of the Jewish people.
So it's their ability to overcome adversity and maintain their connection to God,
Yeah.
even when they face crazy challenges.
Yeah. It's like the name itself becomes a symbol of their strength and endurance.
Oh. So it's not just about Jacob's individual transformation.
Nope.
It's also about the collective identity and even destiny of his descendants.
Exactly. And Midrash Tanshuma, another important Jewish text, explicitly compares the angel's resistance to the opposition Israel encounters from other nations.
So basically it suggests that the challenges Jacob faced foreshadow the challenges his descendants would face as a people.
That's right.
Man, it's like this story is offering us a framework.
A framework for what?
For understanding not just individual struggles, but also the challenges that entire groups of people face throughout history.
I see that.
It reminds me that we're all part of something so much larger than ourselves. But okay, let's go back to Jacob for a sec.
Okay.
This name change, this transformation into Israel, what does that really tell us about him?
Well, Rashi sees it as a confirmation of Jacob's rightful inheritance.
Inheritance of what?
The promises God made to his forefathers, Abraham and Isaac.
Oh, wow. So it's like God saying, you've proven yourself worthy. You can carry on this legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just about like a change in identity.
Right.
It's about stepping into a larger role, taking on the responsibility of carrying forward this sacred tradition.
It is.
That's heavy stuff.
And Ramban actually adds another layer to this.
What's that?
He suggests that the new name Israel reflects Jacob's growth into a leader who's capable of facing any challenge.
It's not just inheriting a legacy.
Right.
It's about being equipped to lead.
To guide others through the tough times.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Yeah.
becoming the father of 12 tribes is no small feat. You definitely need some serious leadership skills for that.
You do. But remember Gaddi Efrayim's focus on that internal struggle.
Yeah.
He suggests the wrestling match also represents that ongoing battle.
The battle between good and evil.
Yeah, the one within ourselves. And Jacob's perseverance in this struggle teaches us that we need to confront our fears head on.
We can't just like avoid the difficult stuff.
We can't. It's like he's modeling a way of engaging with those internal battles. Those moments when we feel pulled in different directions.
Yeah, I can see that.
And what's really inspiring is that even though he struggles, even though he's wounded in the process, Jacob doesn't give up.
He just keeps fighting.
He holds on, keeps fighting, and ultimately he emerges victorious.
Such a powerful message of hope and resilience.
It is.
It's like he's showing us that even when we feel like we're wrestling in the dark, there's this possibility of a breakthrough.
A transformation.
Okay, so we've talked about the struggle, the transformation, and the new identity.
Yeah.
But after this epic wrestling match, Jacob gets a blessing from the angel, right?
Right.
What's the significance of this blessing? Is it just like a consolation prize for such a tough fight, or is there more to it?
Oh, it's definitely more than just a pat on the back.
I had a feeling.
The blessing is pivotal. And like everything else in this story, it has multiple layers of meaning.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's hear it.
On one level, it represents a spiritual inheritance, a continuation of that covenant that God established with Abraham and Isaac.
So Jacob is being officially welcomed into this sacred lineage.
Yeah,
He's entrusted with carrying forward the traditions and responsibilities that come with it.
exactly. It's acknowledging his spiritual growth and his worthiness to carry on this legacy.
Wow.
And on a practical level, the blessing sets the stage for Jacob to become the father of a nation, the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel.
It's like God saying, you passed the test, you proved yourself, now go and fulfill your destiny.
That's a great way to put it.
So it's both a spiritual affirmation and a launching pad for his future role as a leader and a patriarch.
It is.
It's so interesting how the blessing seems to weave together the personal and the collective. Jacob's individual journey and the destiny of his descendants.
And that connection between the individual and the collective is a key theme throughout this whole story.
Yeah, totally.
Just as Jacob's personal struggles mirror the struggles of the Jewish people, his individual blessing carries implications for the future of his descendants.
It's like the ripple effects of his encounter with the angel extend outward, shaping the course of history.
I like that.
That's a powerful image. The idea that our own individual choices and experiences can have far-reaching consequences, shaping not just our own lives, but the lives of those who come after us.
They can.
And that brings us to another important aspect of the blessing, the responsibilities that come with it.
Right.
So the Jewish people, as descendants of Jacob, inherit not only the blessings of the covenant, but also the obligations.
They're chosen to be a light unto the nations.
It's about modeling ethical behavior and spreading knowledge of God to the world.
Exactly.
So it's not just about privilege.
Yeah.
It's about purpose. It's about using their unique position and connection to God to make a positive impact on the world.
Exactly. And that mission, just like Jacob's own journey, is often marked by challenges and struggles.
Oh, for sure. The Jewish people have faced so much persecution and exile.
And attempts to annihilate them throughout history.
But despite all that, they've endured.
They have.
They've persevered and continued to play this vital role in shaping human history and culture.
It really is incredible.
It's like a testament to the enduring power of faith, hope, and the belief in a higher purpose, even in the face of incredible adversity.
It is.
Beit Yisrael International really highlights how this struggle isn't unique to Jacob.
Right.
It reflects the challenge that we all encounter in our own pursuit of spiritual growth.
Right.
You know, those moments when we grapple with our inner demons, so to speak.
And the Talmud gets incredibly detailed about this.
Uh-huh.
It breaks down the stages of the Yetzer Hara.
Okay.
And it's described as a traveler who becomes a guest. And then the guest takes over the house as the man of the house.
Wow.
A metaphor for how this force can grow stronger within us.
Right.
Let's shift our focus to the location of this struggle. Peniel.
All right.
What makes this place so significant?
Well, the name itself holds the key.
Okay.
Peniel means face of God. And this points to a profound realization for Jacob.
Okay.
Even in the midst of his struggle,
Yeah.
he gets a glimpse of divine purpose.
Wow.
Imagine encountering the face of God
Right.
while wrestling with your deepest challenges.
Yeah.
It really challenges our preconceived notions of where and how we experience the divine.
That makes me think about the tough times I faced.
Uh-huh.
What if those challenges were actually opportunities for growth, a chance to see things from a higher perspective?
That's a key insight.
Yeah.
Gaddi Efrayim teaches that Peniel symbolizes our ability to recognize the divine presence, even in hardship.
Right.
And Jacob's victory over Semiel,
Right.
this personified Yetzer Hara, becomes a source of profound hope.
Right.
It suggests that we too can overcome our inner struggles and emerge transformed.
So it's not about avoiding challenges, but rather what we learn and how we grow through them.
Exactly.
It's like facing a difficult boss in a video game.
Uh-huh.
We might struggle, even fail at first,
Right.
but each attempt makes us stronger, more skilled for the next encounter.
Precisely. And this transformation is further emphasized when Jacob's name is changed to Israel after this encounter.
Right.
It's like reaching a new level of understanding, a significant spiritual shift.
This name change, it isn't just a random event.
Yeah.
It's packed with symbolism.
Right.
What's the deeper meaning
Okay.
behind this transformation from Jacob to Israel?
Well, the sages teach that these names represent a balance between two aspects of our spiritual journey.
Okay.
The part of us that struggles
Right.
and the part that embodies strength and leadership.
It's like we all have this Jacob within us. The part that questions, doubts, maybe even complains a bit.
Yeah.
But we also have the potential for Israel, that inner strength and resilience.
That's right.
How do we navigate these two seemingly opposite forces within ourselves?
Beit Yisrael International suggests that embracing this duality is crucial for growth. We don't need to erase the Jacob within us,
Right.
but learn to integrate it with the Israel we're striving to become.
So it's not about achieving some perfect state of being,
Yeah.
but acknowledging that both our struggles and victories shape our journey.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that challenges and victories are both integral parts of our connection to the divine.
Right.
And that even in those moments when we feel most like Jacob,
Yeah.
the potential for Israel is always within us.
This encounter with Samuel at Peniel marks a turning point for Jacob.
Yeah.
But his journey continues.
Right.
And his next encounter adds another layer of meaning to this whole story.
Okay.
What happens next for Jacob?
He comes face to face with his brother Esau, whom he had wronged in the past
Right.
and feared might seek revenge.
Right.
But instead of shrinking back in fear,
Yeah.
Jacob makes a surprising statement.
Okay.
He says, I have seen your face as one who sees the face of God.
That's quite a statement.
It is.
Is he saying that he literally saw God's face in Esau? What's the meaning behind those words?
It's not about a literal interpretation.
Okay.
Beit Yisrael International interprets this as Jacob recognizing divine purpose in even his adversaries.
Right.
Remember, he just emerged from this intense struggle at Peniel, transformed.
Right.
Now he can see Esau,
Yeah.
his former rival, in a new light.
So he's not condoning Esau's past behavior.
No.
But realizing that even difficult people and situations can play a role in our growth.
That's right.
It's about seeing a bigger picture.
Precisely. It's
Yeah.
about recognizing the hand of God.
Right.
Even in those situations that seem negative or adversarial.
Yeah.
Just like in the story of Job. Even in his suffering, God was present, working through those challenges.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
It suggests that we shouldn't shy away from challenges or difficult people,
Mm.
but try to understand the role they might play in our journey.
Right.
But what about this Yetzer Hara?
Yeah.
Is it something we should constantly fight against? Or is there a different way to view this evil inclination?
The Zohar, a mystical text, offers a surprising perspective.
Okay.
It suggests that the Yetzer Hara isn't pure evil, but a force that can actually push us to grow.
That's unexpected.
It is.
So instead of fearing or trying to eliminate this part of ourselves,
Uh-huh.
we should try to understand its purpose.
Imagine like weightlifting for the soul.
Okay.
It's challenging, sometimes even painful,
Yeah.
but ultimately it strengthens us. The Zohar highlights that even the Yetzer Hara plays a role in the dance between holiness and impurity,
Right.
driving us towards growth and refinement.
This is making me rethink my whole understanding of inner struggles. It's not about achieving some perfect state of being free from all temptation,
Right.
but about learning to engage with these forces in a way that leads to growth.
It's about recognizing the divine purpose in everything we experience, even in those aspects of ourselves that we might consider bad or negative.
Right.
And remember, Jacob emerged victorious from his wrestling match.
Right.
This shows us that confronting our Yetzer Hara,
Yeah.
those challenging aspects of ourselves, has transformative potential.
We've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
From Jacob's wrestling match.
Uh-huh.
And the significance of Peniel.
Right.
To his transformation into Israel.
Right.
And this new perspective on the Yetzer Hara.
Uh-huh.
It's fascinating how this ancient story has so much to teach us about our own inner life.
And Gaddi Efrayim reminds us that the name Israel itself embodies this mission. It's about carrying forward the covenant with God.
Okay.
Living a life that reflects moral and spiritual values.
Right.
And it's about inspiring those same values in others.
Right.
Creating a chain reaction of positive change.
It's inspiring to think that by working on ourselves,
Yeah.
by striving to embody those qualities of Israel and Israel.
Israel, exactly. We've got some incredible Hasidic and Kabbalistic sources lined up. Ones that I think are going to totally reframe how we understand this name.
Yeah.
It's not just a name. It's connected to the Torah, to the Jewish people, and really to their purpose in the world. So,
It's really about identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get ready for a journey into the meaning woven into the very fabric, this very name.
You know, it's fascinating when you think about it. The name Israel wasn't just like, given to Jacob after that whole wrestling match with the angel. I mean, there's so much more to it.
Oh, yeah. I never really thought about it beyond that story, to be honest. Like, what's the deeper meaning there?
Well, Kabbalah teaches that Israel represents like the collective identity and mission of the Jewish people. It's not just Jacob's name.
Okay, so it's like more than just a personal name. It's pointing to something much bigger.
Exactly. Like transcending individual limitations and like becoming a part of something way bigger.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like the name itself embodies this idea of unity and shared purpose.
Right. And one of the most mind-blowing concepts tied to this is this idea of like 600,000 letters in the Torah corresponding to 600,000 root souls of Israel.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've probably heard the acronym like Yesh Shishim Rebo Otiyot LaTorah.
Yeah, I've heard that before. But to be honest, I never really grasped what it meant. It just seemed like a big number.
It is a big number, but it's not just like some random figure. Think of it this way. Kabbalah teaches that every single letter in the Torah, it's like a unique soul.
Oh, wow.
And just as the Torah would be incomplete without every single letter, so too is the nation of Israel incomplete without every individual soul.
Okay, so it's not just about like a big group of people.
Yeah.
It's saying that each person carries a piece of like
a puzzle piece.
a piece of the puzzle.
You can't skip letters when you read the Torah. Each soul, it plays a vital role in revealing the complete picture of Israel's spiritual potential.
This reminds me of something I read from Beit Yisrael International. They talk about how the sanctity of the nation relies on every individual contributing.
Yeah.
It's like we each have this responsibility to contribute to the whole.
Exactly. And this idea of interconnectedness, it goes even deeper than that.
Okay.
The Zohar, a fundamental text in Kabbalah, it talks about this like intrinsic unity between the Torah, the Jewish people, and God, presenting the blueprint of creation itself.
So it's like saying the Jewish people are meant to be a living, breathing embodiment of that blueprint.
Exactly. It's not just about following rules. It's about embodying something much bigger, deeper,
Right.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The name Israel itself embodies this whole connection.
Wow.
Think of it like a mission statement woven into like the very essence of their identity. Gaddi Efrayim explains that the name calls on the Jewish people to live by the Torah and illuminate the world with divine wisdom.
Yeah. That's a pretty big responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why understanding the name Israel is so crucial for grasping Jewish identity and purpose.
Totally. And it's not just a collective responsibility.
Yeah.
Each person within that collective carries a piece of it.
Okay.
This brings us to some profound Hasidic teachings that go even deeper into this idea of individual purpose.
Okay, I am so ready to dive into that. This is already mind-blowing.
Yeah.
What do the Hasidic masters have to say about all this?
Well, the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Hasidic movement,
Uh-huh.
he taught that each soul corresponds to a specific letter in the Torah.
That's powerful. It really highlights the idea that every single person, every soul is essential to the spiritual completeness of Israel.
Yes. And it's not just about being essential. Each person brings something unique.
Okay.
Rebbe Nachman of Breslov pointed out that even the different letter forms in the Torah scrolls, they have meaning. He suggests they reflect the diverse nature of individual souls.
So like a divine orchestra, with each instrument playing its part to create this amazing symphony of holiness.
Love that. A great way to put it. It really highlights the beauty of harmony in diversity.
Yeah.
And the Lubavitcher Rebbe adds another layer to this. He emphasizes the collective responsibility that the Jewish people have for upholding the Torah and mitzvot, comparing them to a living Torah radiating divine light.
So it's like our actions as part of this collective, they have the power to actually illuminate the world.
Yes.
And this ties in perfectly with that powerful statement from the Zohar. Israel, the Torah, and the Holy One, blessed be He, are one. It really sums up the connection between the Jewish people and their spiritual mission.
If we break down that statement, we see that the Torah represents that divine wisdom that guides Israel, and Israel, through their actions, becomes a vessel for that wisdom, manifesting it in the world.
It's like a dance between the divine and the human working together to bring light into the world.
Beautiful way to picture it. And talking about bringing light into the world,
Yeah.
Beit Yisrael International connects this concept to Tikkun Olam, the mission to repair and elevate the world, this profound unity between the Jewish people, the Torah, and God that drives their role in making the world a better place.
So it's not just about personal growth or communal harmony. It's about taking that light and actively trying to improve the world.
Absolutely. And Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the founder of Shabbat Chassidism, he takes it even further. He describes the letters of the Torah as the spiritual DNA of creation itself.
Wow.
So when Israel fulfills their mission living in alignment with the Torah, they're essentially realigning creation with its divine purpose.
Okay, that is mind-blowing. It's like we have this incredible power to impact the very fabric of reality through our actions.
That's the potential that's in the name Israel. And when we understand its mystical significance, we gain a much deeper appreciation for the responsibility and the opportunity that comes with being a part of this lineage.
Okay, so absolutely. And to our listener, as you go about your day, your week, your life, remember that you are a letter in the Torah, a spark of holiness, a beacon of light. Embrace that truth and make the world a more beautiful and harmonious place.
And never underestimate the power of your actions. No matter how small they seem, every thread counts in the tapestry.